Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Minimalist Run. We have just completed 2 of the 6 barriers, which I think was the water and the forest temple barriers. Now we're going to go after Shadow next. And you kind of have to go after Shadow first before you go to the fire, because there's an item here, which I think is a completely superfluous item in this game. I mean, they didn't really need to put this item in the game. But regardless, they did. And you're going to need to get it first before you can complete the fire barrier puzzle. So, first things first, light this torch. This turns on a little bit of a timer here that you need. This is me being a little bit too curious for my own good. And ruining some of my chances or attempts at... Yeah, and wasting magic power in the process. A lot of magic power. At this point, I'm pretty sure I was probably cursing under my breath, wasting that much. And almost losing it again. Yep, my curiosity got the better of me, and that was a pointless chest, for all intents and purposes. And here's me wanting to get it right this first time, and still not getting it right. That is the trouble with the control stick, at least when I'm controlling it with the GameCube controller. It is extremely hard to get the angle for the fire arrows to hit it just right, just above that unlit torch, so you can light it for a brief time. If that wasn't enough, you're landed right in the middle of a like as you know from a previous video, spells doom for a minimalist run if it happens to take one of your tunics or shields or something that you need to get through the game. So definitely kill this thing from afar. Do not let it get close to you. There's definitely some magic to take us, bring us the rest of the way home in this particular room. But no hearts. There's some hearts over there, though. So here's me wondering if, maybe there's some more invisible platforms that need to be displayed by shooting this torch one more time. And sure enough, there is. In fact, there's more than just a few, or one. There's this right here. You kind of want to make it to the switch before it runs out, because this is the only... There you go. That's the only block that doesn't disappear when the torch goes out. And of course you hookshot the way back, because there's no way you can reach the torch from this angle. It's kind of behind a wall or something further down the room. So this is the superfluous item that I was telling you about. You use it, I believe, a grand total of 2 times. One time in Ganon's Tower, which is nice, but, I mean, it's required for a puzzle, and then 2 outside of Ganon's Tower for an optional upgrade to get double the hearts, or extra, like, you take less damage there, that's the best way to describe it. You take less damage from attacks, which effectively doubles your hearts. So if you had 20 hearts, you now basically have 40. And it is an overkill upgrade that trivializes the last boss or any other challenge this game could have had. So, there's that. So, other than those 2 uses, one required and one optional, you really don't need these golden gauntlets at all. In fact, they probably could have just removed them, removed the requirement for them in the fire portion of the Ganon's Tower, and still been just fine not having an item in this game for the golden gauntlets. Because, I mean, it trivializes the silver gauntlets, the ones you fought so hard for in the Spirit Temple. I mean, you only have the silver gauntlets for maybe an hour or 2 at most, and then automatically they're being replaced by these better golden gauntlets. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. You went from one gauntlet to the other in just a short span of time. I would have rather have had the silver gauntlets introduced earlier, like let's say the water temple or fire temple or something like that, and then after 3 or 4 dungeons later, then get the upgrade to the golden gauntlets and give it more use. Give it more than just 2 uses in the entire game. Then it would have felt like you actually earned these new golden gauntlets. So yeah, don't let likes eat your... Wow, 24 seconds. That is no time to do anything. Yeah, losing your red tunic to a like makes it impossible to complete this game. At least minimalist, anyway. So you need the hover boots on, because for whatever reason, the hover boots are the only footwear that does not allow this platform that I was on, the weird-looking platform, from sinking into the lava. If you're wearing your iron boots or normal boots, this platform that I'm on would start sinking into the lava. Yeah, and even here, in the final dungeon, you have some more 5 silver ruby puzzles. You just can't seem to get away from these in this game. And this is the one and only required use. Correction, I'm sorry. I didn't count right. One of 2 required uses of the silver gauntlets. There's 3 uses total. I miscounted. This was the first, which gives you access to 1 ruby, and then the final one. So you're going to need to throw this pillar into the lava to have enough space for the hover boots to do their magic. And then, of course, you know, trying to get back, not so much! But at least we collected all 5 silver rubies, so I usually save that one for last, just in case I don't make it back, because then I don't have to repeat everything. And of course, that's too far away even for the hover boots. So you want to hookshot that thing. So it looks like every heart gives you 8 seconds to survive in a hot area. So that's actually good information to know. Given that math, I could be wrong, so 8 seconds times 20 hearts, that's like 160 seconds. So you have over 2 minutes. It's like 2 minutes, over 2 minutes to get through a hot area when you have full health of 20 hearts, a full life meter. That's just rough fuzzy math. Okay, here is the second use of the super gauntlets. To actually get into the light. The barrier of light challenges. We never actually got to go to a light temple where Rauru resided. There was no light temple. So there really wasn't much to draw from in terms of motifs, puzzles, things like that. So this is more random than most. There isn't much to go off of in terms of this particular dungeon. So I guess these puzzles are more like bottom of the barrel type deals. And I think the bats actually mean something. I think the chests that the bats were perched on are trap chests. And then the rest actually have small items like 5 rubies or hearts or something like that. But we're not going to go and open up any of these. We're just going to continue on. Of course, by this point, the moment you see the Triforce mark, you know what to do. I don't know why they keep coming back to this so often. I mean, it just feels like they were coming up on a deadline or something, and they were just throwing repeat puzzles in towards the end over and over for some reason. I don't know if that's how it was during development, but that's how it feels. At least by this point, by Ganon's Tower especially. And again, silver rubies all over the place. You don't really realize how many times you're doing these silver ruby things until you actually start counting them. I mean, in and of themselves, it's fine. I don't have a problem with them. If anything, it should have been more regulated to, you know, like a mini-game sort of collection quest, you know? And the timer is still going. I don't know why that would be going. That was actually kind of a close call. Yep, and sure enough, there is a hidden door. You would think there was... That's a small little bit of trickery there. You would think the barrier would be right there in front of you, and you'd be kind of stumped that it's not there, but of course, it's just a play on the eyes, and you can find out the real trick through the lens of truth. So, as a whole, Ganon's Tower, for the most part, isn't really that hard to beat. If anything, it's more just a trial of remembrance. Do you remember how to do all these puzzles? Which are now given to you in new and interesting ways. So it's just like it's one final test, if you will, before plopping you in to face Ganon proper. In terms of complexity, this is actually kind of a difficult room. This is... I don't know. The way this room is set up almost reminds me of how, like, certain rooms or dungeons or levels of Adventures of Lolo would be. If anybody remembers that old game. Like, here's a puzzle room. Here's all the obstacles you have in your way. Figure it out! But on the whole, this is still pretty simple. You just move the statues far enough so that the blades aren't so fast going back and forth that you can get through without getting hurt. And I still got hurt. Okay, now this puzzle is kind of interesting. This one actually does harken back and recalls a certain puzzle from the Spirit Temple, which involved bomb chews. So your first order of business is to try and hit that switch on the other side of the wall, which I am failing spectacularly at, but a spin slash should do it. And this is your hint on what to do. Bomb chews. Like, that's an odd item to get from a chest, but look at that, there's a hole in the ceiling. Now you don't want to put it straight through these bars, because that ain't gonna happen. So what you want to do is you kind of want to face directly away from it and throw it straight. And if your aim is true, it'll go through... Nope. It'll go through the hole, the gap in the bars up at the ceiling there. Nope, still no. Still no. This is me going, screw it, I'm just gonna do it on the wall. I mean, I got 25 or 24 more to work with here, but that one seems to have done the trick, and it blows up right on the switch further away. So that was actually a clever callback puzzle, in my opinion. I liked that one. This is another good callback. What to do? There's no light, but if you look up there, there's cobwebs, which probably are blocking some light. Even get some fire arrow usage in here, so that's nice. So I think the Spirit Temple is well represented in this hub and spoke, if you will. Oh, jeez. That was a nasty trick. Sometimes you need to get a better angle on this. Nope. At least they give you a lot of rubies upon death. There we go, that's the sun switch we needed. And with that, this is our final barrier. If I can actually do this right. Sometimes it's easier just to pick up pots rather than trying to slash them. Especially with the joystick controls that we have on the GameCube. She calls him kid when she's probably not too much older than him. Because the witches called her a young girl, so that either means she's in her late teens or mid-20s-ish. That's kind of where I would put Naburu. I remember being so scared when I first played this game, and the entrance to the final area opened up. I think I've said it once before that I get nervous when I first play a game and I get towards the end. So that's where we're going to be. We're going to do the final sequence in the next level, or the next level, the next video. But first, burn myself to pieces and almost die to these bats. See y'all later in the next video. Bye.